from the studios of News Channel 9, this is Good Morning Chattanooga.
Right now on Good Morning Chattanooga, one lane of I-75 southbound is now open at the I-24 split. This after a concrete barrier collapsed yesterday. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jessica Harthorn.
And I'm Greg Funderburg. Take a look here. This is a live look this morning right through our TDOT SmartWay camera. Now, TDOT reopened the lane just before 6:30 last night, nearly 7 hours after the barrier fell. Now, again, if you're driving from Ringgold, Georgia this morning, you can, of course, to avoid that area if you want to, you can make a right and go on northbound. You can still go northbound with no problems in 75 towards East Brainerd Road or even Knoxville. And of course, we'll have Aaron Farrar live on the scene in just a moment.
Right now, one person is recovering after part of the wall fell onto their car. Chattanooga police say they're expected to be okay. Jim Hall, who is the former chairman of the NTSB, says we're lucky this wasn't worse.
We are a blessed community that we did not have multiple fatalities. I've been around the country, and events like this usually end up with multiple fatalities and a much worse situation.
Hall says cleaning up the concrete and finding out what made the wall fall are now TDOT's biggest concerns this morning. That investigation is underway right now. A temporary railing is now in place until a permanent fix can be made.
Now this morning, TDOT is working to determine what caused a concrete beam to fall on I-75. Aaron Farrar is live this morning where all of this unfolded around 11:34 yesterday morning to break down the bridge's history and inspection record. So Aaron, what have you been able to find out?
Good morning, Greg and Jessica. TDOT says the last time this bridge was inspected was back in July of 2018. It got a fair rating and was considered structurally sound. And that was before the beam fell onto I-75 northbound to I-24 west yesterday. During that inspection, two recommendations were made. One was to remove loose concrete filler beneath the beams. The other was to remove a tree that was causing the cracks to grow larger in size. The regional bridge manager says there was no need to worry about something like this happening.
Start on the debris.
Okay.
There was no structural problems with the bridge. It's an older bridge. It had normal problems that an older bridge would have, but there was nothing structurally wrong with it. There was no reason for us to suspect anything like this would happen. Everything was in good condition.
And before all of this happened, a former Tennessee Transportation Commissioner called this interchange one of the worst in the state, and that was back in 2017 when that comment was made. Reporting live in Chattanooga, I'm Aaron Farrar. Good morning, Chattanooga.
Aaron, thanks so much. Now, the bridge would have been inspected again in May of 2020. Now let's take a look at your exclusive traffic tracker this morning. Things are looking pretty good out there. Nothing major affecting your roadways away from the 75-24 split. Now, we do want to say this morning, allow yourselves some extra drive time if you're heading out this morning. Now, don't forget, I-75 southbound, which is coming from the East Brainerd Road area. If you're coming 75 southbound going towards Ringgold, if you're going over that interchange where the beam fell yesterday morning, you can still access that roadway. Only one lane is open. You can only imagine what this is going to do for traffic later this morning during rush hour. So keep that in mind if you're heading in that direction. Also, if you're coming up from Ringgold, you can still go 75 northbound towards East Bridge, East Brainerd Road and Ooltewah, all those places. But again, in that junction, keep in mind that there's going to be a lot of traffic this morning as you're heading out because of the delays this morning.
The TDOT SmartWay camera looks really good right here. I-75 at Volkswagen moving along just fine.
Let's turn now to Aaron for a look at your Storm Track 9 forecast.
All right, well, as we're waking up this morning, temperatures a lot more comfortable compared to yesterday. Still a little cool out there, but really not too bad, and I would say seasonable with our lows this morning in the mid-40s. We've got 47 in Chattanooga. Still a couple of cool spots out there. Murphy, Crossville in the mid-upper 30s right now. But compared to where we were 24 hours ago, we're about 10 degrees warmer, which feels like a big difference as you are stepping out the door this morning. The reason we're looking at those warmer temperatures is all due to some cloud cover, despite the fact that we do have a couple of sprinkles moving through this morning. You'll notice some pinks and some blues right here, indicating maybe a rain-snow mixture there along the Blue Ridge Mountains into the Smokies there as well. I kind of have my doubts because while it may be showing that way on the upper atmosphere by the time it's falling to the ground, I do think think that a lot of that is melting into rain. So we do have some moisture well off to the south of us, but what's happening right here is these rain showers are interacting with some dry air. So we will have a couple of rain showers throughout the mid-morning, but as we head into the afternoon, looking at much drier conditions. Now we will have some more rain that moves through by the end of this week, and despite that, I do see this having not a huge impact on our temperatures for the weekend, even with it being a cold front. We'll check out what I mean in detail. That's all coming up in our full forecast, Jessica.
Aaron, thank you. Developing right now, a Georgia police officer is shot and the suspect is dead. It happened in an Atlanta suburb last night. The spokesperson with the Union City Police Department says the officer was shot several times. His condition is not known at this hour, and it's not clear what led up to that shooting.
Today marks 8 years since Sergeant Tim Chapin died in the line of duty. An armed robber killed the Chattanooga officer during a shootout. It happened at a pawn shop on Brainerd Road back in 2011. Right now, Jesse Matthews is serving a life sentence in a maximum security prison without the possibility of parole for Chapin's death. Sergeant Chapin served the Chattanooga Police Department for 27 years. Shortly after his death, a stretch of I-24 was named in his honor.
2 Marines are dead after a helicopter crash in Arizona. One of them was a Tennessee native. Captain Travis Brannon was from Nashville. The other victim, Major Matthew Wygand, was from Pennsylvania. A Marine Corps air station shared the news about this crash on Facebook. It happened Saturday during a training mission. Right now, the crash remains under investigation.
New this morning, the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office adds a new suspect to its top 12 most wanted list. Tamikia Postel is charged with attempted first-degree murder and aggravated assault. Now, we've also previously reported about her. Police say she and a man beat someone until they were in a coma. It happened at the Brainerd Road Popeyes that happened in June of last year. Now, according to CPD, she fractured the victim's skull after hitting him with a gun. If you know where she is, you're asked to contact authorities immediately or simply submit a tip through the HCSO's website.
Right now, Eastridge police are looking for the suspects who shot a 16-year-old last week. It happened on Sherrill Joe Lane last Thursday. This morning, authorities say they've identified the suspects and charges have been filed. Police say everyone involved is underage, so they won't release their names. Once the suspects are arrested, they'll be charged with attempted murder and aggravated robbery.
Cleveland police need your help this morning finding a runaway teenager and her 9-month-old baby. Take a good look here. Bradley County Emergency Management says 16-year-old Susanna Alonzo was last seen leaving home with her daughter Sunday. Alonzo was last seen wearing a blue V-neck, blue jeans, and black jacket. The baby was wearing a pink onesie with flowers. Anyone with information is asked to